Welcome to the Intimate Partner Violence video series. We are talking about anger and conflict today. Check out the resources on our webpage, and if you are overwhelmed or triggered by any information, please pause, do some self-care, reach out for some support from a friend or family member. You can contact our office, or if you're in crisis, please call Mobile Crisis. So, introduction to anger. Anger is a common human emotion. It is neither good or bad. However, what we do with our anger can cause problems. Often people think of anger as a bad thing because their experience with anger has been that it is dangerous. But we can use our anger for other things. Often anger is like the tip of an iceberg, and it shows very little of what is really going on within a person. So there's lots of things underneath that anger. So it's important to look at two different parts of anger. One is, what are the functions of anger? Anger can give us energy to help us make changes or deal with issues or face conflict. Anger can help us express negative feelings to others. Anger is a cue that something is unjust, frustrating, threatening, hurtful, etc. So it lets us know that something's wrong. And anger can help us feel in control. Often, anger masks other emotions such as hurt, fear, a sense of being unworthy, shame, rejection, unfairness, frustration, annoyance, loneliness, insecurity, being embarrassed, feeling threatened, guilt, jealousy, overwhelm, disappointment, or helplessness. And there are many others. So it's important to remember that anger on its own is really giving us information about some of these other things that might be going on. Now, because anger is not good or bad, it really is about how do we deal with anger. And there are some healthy ways to deal with anger and get through it without it turning into something scary. So the first step is to recognize your anger. Pause and say, hey, I'm angry right now, right? The second is to feel the emotion in your body. So kind of take a moment when you notice that you're angry to go, well, where am I angry? Do I hold my anger in my stomach? Do I hold my anger in my shoulders? Does my face get red and hot? Do I clench my jaw? Am I clenching my fists? Am I tense and rigid? Do I get a headache? Find it in your body, because once we find it in our body, we notice and we can start to have control over it. And then feel any underlying emotions. So what's underneath the tip of that iceberg for you, right? And remember back to the last slide, all those different emotions, and there could be others, but figuring out what else am I feeling, right? Acknowledge the thoughts that accompany your feelings. So if I'm feeling hurt, what do I think about being hurt? Right? What led me to feel hurt? Identify the source of your anger. So who or what caused the anger? And am I angry because I'm hurt? Is this protecting me? Am I angry because something's not fair? Am I angry because I need control right now? So taking a look at why am I angry? And then once you've kind of gone through all those steps of recognizing it, figuring out what the underlying emotion is, who am I mad at or what am I mad at, and why do I need to be angry, decide what action, if any, you need to take. Is this a situation where I need to stand up for myself or someone else? Is this a situation where I need to address the person that hurt me? Do I maybe just need to step away and redirect myself? And it's important to take responsibility for constructively releasing your anger. So not getting violent or aggressive, but being able to find ways to work through your anger and make the changes needed, if there are any, in a helpful way. And one of the ways that we can do that is to move towards assertive communication. So there's kind of three main types of communicators. Passive communicators tend to give in and avoid conflict to keep the peace. Often this leads to stuffing and stuffing and stuffing anger. and it can make us sick, it can give us headaches, it can make us upset, and it can come out in tears or in a lot of different sort of ways. Aggressive communicators tend to bully others, shout, and damage relationships with others to get their way. And often aggressive communicators stuff until they're ready to explode, right? Assertive communicators, they recognize that their needs are just as important as the needs of others. They're able to compromise, to stand up for themselves and strive for fairness. Often, rather than stuffing the anger, they address it sort of in the moment once they've gone through those steps of figuring out what am I angry about and why and what can I do about it. Assertive communicators talk and listen respectfully, and they clearly share their point. So without name calling, without shouting, without shutting the other person down, I'm just listening and being open to that conversation. And it's really important to remember, though, that even if you communicate assertively, it doesn't guarantee the other person will be respectful during the conflict. You can only control your behavior, not theirs. You can only control how you deal with your anger. And if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't deal well with their anger, then it's time to look at some boundaries and stepping away from that person so that you can be safe. This was kind of a quick run through of anger and ways that we can use it in a positive light. If you want more information about that or support, you can contact our office at 306-244-0127.